Hello and welcome to the Lyon Show. It's your host, your favorite business coach, Robert Lyon. Today, I have the great privilege to talk to Weston and Freud, and we're going to be getting into their business called Faceless Freedom. If you've ever wanted to learn how to make money from YouTube without ever showing your face, without ever having to do all the editing and all the painstaking work of keyword research and everything else that goes into it, these are the guys to talk to. So I just hope you're super excited about the episode. We'll just kind of dive right in. So just give us like a little bit of your background, guys. I want to know how long maybe this business has been going. How long have you been an entrepreneur? Why don't we start with Freud?
Yes, sir. So my name is Freud Vixamar. Originally, I started my entrepreneurship journey when I was 15, 16, when I was old enough to actually get a job. Personally, I've worked a 9 to 5 for like a week. There's a funny story. So when I was 15, I wanted to get a job mainly because I was a sophomore in high school or a freshman, and I wanted a job just so I can buy new shoes and stuff like that, just to look fresh. And I was at my church and I screamed out in the lobby of the church, I'm like, man, I need a job. And at that time, I had a gentleman that goes to my church. He was doing e-commerce. So he was like, you don't need a job. I can show you a couple of different ways to make money where you don't have to actually, go out into a 9 to 5 and stuff like that. So I went to his house a couple of times, learned about how e-commerce works, what is e-commerce, took a couple courses. At that time, because of my age, and obviously I was trying to make money, that was when it was kind of really profitable with e-commerce, so you can actually just spend money on Facebook ad and actually make return. It wasn't too competitive. And I got from my mom actually loaned me $500, and I've made around like $23 out of that 500. So I ended up stopping and I went to affiliate marketing, which was a little bit more cheaper, where I was doing YouTube videos. That was actually me being on camera and promoting products. So that didn't really work out. I kind of burned out from doing videos and I wasn't getting that much sales. And eventually around 2018, that was when I was around 17, around that range, is when I saw a video on YouTube, which was my first mentor, which is called Jordan Mackey. I saw his video on YouTube where he was actually making, at that time, he showed me a $30,000 check that he made in 1 month. And the title of the video was How I Make Money on YouTube Without Making Videos or Showing My Face. So it was very controversial. So I clicked on the video and I learned about the whole process from him. I took his program, his mentorship. After 6 months of just implementing it, I built 6 different automation channels. 5 of them fell and 1 of them ended up become successful. First paycheck was $1,200. Second paycheck was $3,200. And then from there was building other channels and just continuing on with it till I had made around like $50,000 a month. And at that point, if anybody go back on my personal Facebook profile, I just started like posting the result because I was like in the Facebook group for like that program that I was in. And then a bunch of people started following me and they were asking me mentorship. So then I started doing like the mentorship aspect of it when I was doing one-on-one coaching. So I'll do like 7-day coaching where I show them throughout the whole 7-day how to build the channel. Like day 1 will be picking the niche, day 2 will be building the channel, day 3 will be building the team to automate the channel. And then from there, that's how Faceless Freedom actually started. So I got the LLC made. So the whole purpose of Faceless Freedom was just how to actually build a YouTube automation business without showing their face or making videos. And that's how I built like the automation program, because I couldn't do like the 7 days anymore because it was just too much time consuming and I was getting burned out. And also I was sacrificing the time I should be putting in my channels to actually growing and scaling. So that's what got me to where I am today, owning Faceless Freedom, and at the same time owning about 20 channel under management for myself. Cool. In 2023 as of currently speaking.
So let's go back though. Like, what were you talking about your first YouTube videos? Do you even remember? Like, did you have a niche? What were you talking about?
My first successful channel was a hair compilation. It was actually a compilation channel.
Like how to cut hair or like what?
It was different hairstyle for Black women, basically. It was very nice. But nobody was doing it. That's why I had success with it, because it was very less competitive. And I remember I sat down and think, what is something that people like to watch on YouTube a lot, and where there's not a lot of competition, I could grow the channel at a faster rate. And I don't know where the idea came from. Maybe I saw somebody doing their hair or something, but that was one of my channel. I actually got.
What's a couple other weird ones that have just like you wouldn't think would make money but are making money or that are doing really good?
So one of my biggest channel at the moment, I wouldn't call it weird, but it's very controversial, which is like the manosphere.
What's that? Is that man explaining or something?
So some people call it the male feminist.
Oh,
If you look it
it's
up,
like Chuck Norris stuff and like
Yeah.
like hands or
Chuck Norris.
I'm gonna mention a name, and some people will probably know it. It's more, it's like kind of like Andrew Tate philosophy in a way.
Yeah.
So maybe now it's a little more clear. But it's a niche in YouTube because I'll find like those random, because I'm on YouTube like almost 8 hours per day. I'm just like browsing because I manage multiple channels. So I'll come across the weirdest thing that'll make me just I don't want to cuss, but like just a shit ton of money on YouTube.
Nah, please cuss. It'll make me feel more comfortable. So.
Me
And then how'd you
too.
link up with Weston, man? What kind of what brought you guys together?
So me and Weston, I'm good when it comes to like YouTube automation. And personally myself in the beginning for Faceless Freedom, people would DM me, they'll reach out to me, and then I would get on a call with them and I'll close them to actually get into my program. So I didn't start as a closer. I just had the skill and the knowledge of YouTube automation, which was very easy to actually get people into my program. But then it got to the point where I was just burning out and I needed people to actually be in different divisions. So I brought in Weston as like to be in the sales division of Faceless Freedom to help with like client management also, and also just bring on new clients for results.
How have you been in sales for a long time, Weston? Is that kind of like your circle of zone of genius?
Yeah. So I do a lot of growth consulting work with coaches and consultants who, have an offer and they're just doing like one-on-ones, and I help them basically like scale their offer, package it into a program, and deliver it to the masses. And I'm pretty picky on who I work with. I've only done this for a few clients where I go from like A to Z. And this has been a different type of deal that we've done, Freud, because, I'm like, flew out to Miami. We filmed ads together. We filmed
cool.
a long form video sales letter, all that good stuff, and like put together the whole funnel in like a week. And we've done a lot of cool stuff together. But the reason that I'm so attracted to this type of offer is because there's not many things that you can do out there that are like truly passive. Like there's a lot of things that they say are like passive, yada, yada, and then you get into it and then you find out it's like not so passive after all. I had that story with like rental properties. Like I bought my first rental property because everybody's like, real estate's the holy grail of passive income. Dude, not passive at all. Like the least passive thing I've ever done.
Something you learn really quick, man.
Yeah, dude. Ted is calling at 2 a.m. I bought a house in Fort Worth, Texas, and the AC went out in July. So the heat index is like 98 in Texas. Like in some, call me like 2 a.m. and then just like wham, $4,500 AC bill has to come out at 2 a.m. Angry tenants, like it just, anyways, all kinds of hiccups that come with real estate, right? And so, anyways, this is something that you can set up to where it's like truly passive. Once you get your team oriented and they're running it for you, it's like you literally don't have to do a single thing except just watch your account grow.
I kind of want to dig into the business a little bit, Freud. I want to like learn how you scaled, where you get all your editors from. Let's just start with like, it probably just started with you doing all the work, right? Or did you have a team of VAs, or how did it start kind of?
So in the beginning it was me, because obviously the reason I was hopping from different online business because I didn't have any money. And I was looking for that business where I can actually get started without investing money. Honest truth is most business, you have to invest some sort of capital. So when I started the business, I had to learn editing, script writing. I did my own voiceover, and also I did the thumbnails myself. And there's one thing I'm missing. And I optimized the channels myself. So I had to learn all the skills because I didn't have any money. And learning the skills, and after 6 months of having that profit, I just invested into building a team. Because how the business model is pitched is YouTube automation. Obviously, we have to hire VAs. We have to hire the editor, the scriptwriter, the voiceover artist. For example, I have a health channel, which I built like last week. We had to hire a scriptwriter from Pakistan, which was a doctor, to write the script for us, to come up with different ideas, and the editor and a voiceover artist and a thumbnail designer to just automate the whole process. And obviously, those people, you have to put them on payroll. So in the beginning, I was just doing everything myself until I was able to automate it.
How many videos you have to put out like a week, to like start to really see traction? Like do you like think you figured out the algorithm at all? Because I always love trying to hack the YouTube algorithm. The algorithm daddy in the sky.
That's the thing. It's a very unpredictable thing. But sometimes it's also a huge benefit. So for each channel and different niche, it really varies. I have channel where we have to upload on a daily basis. Like the channel just keep traction, make more money if we upload on a daily basis. But this channel, like we have some channel where we do documentary, like history documentary. The videos are like 30, 40-minute longs. we can only upload like 1 or 2 videos per week due to the capacity. But we find out just because we have the 30-40 minute documentary, because we're doing like 10 minute, they get more views and more traction. So it make up for posting just one long form video than posting like 5 videos per week. So we post on average, the channel that we post in the last video on is 2 videos per week. The most is a video on a daily basis. So from 2 to 7 videos a week is how much we post, depending on the niche that we see. We just kind of react to how the channel grow and also the competition within that niche. So if I select the competitors to post like 1 videos a week and they're doing long form video, that's what I'm gonna be doing at the same time also. So it just depends on the niche.
And which do you lean more towards?
8 to 15 minute videos as well. So
yeah.
I
think it was like TED Talks was like 18 minutes is that sweet spot. But which do you lean more towards? Do you lean more towards SEO optimized content or like engagement, like viewer, like just stuff that's going to get people's attention? Like which one is it that scales?
It's more toward trend than SEO.
Trends? Oh, cool. Could you explain that?
It's basically like the first thing that you said. One of my strategy that I use when I'm actually starting a channel from scratch, because we have no data, is I would look at all the competitor. So if I'm starting a health channel, I'll subscribe to all the doctors that I can find that have their YouTube channel that have 1 million+ subscribers, even some new channel that have just recently started blowing up, and I'll see what are the most popular video within the last 3 months. Not all the time your video is going to go viral, but a lot of time I figure out when I replicate that video and make my own version of it, it will get a good amount of momentum. So that's what I mean by trend, is just I'm finding out what are the video within the niche that are getting the most traction at the current time.
And I do the same thing with shorts. I'll even go to Twitter sometimes and just like find tweets that have gone viral and I'll turn that into a video short. That's what it is. But do you guys do any shorts or is it all long form content? So
what I found out with automation channel, we barely do shorts. There's only one niche out of 10 different niche I'm testing right now. Only one niche actually perform well, which is a history niche, because usually when we do short and we go viral on short, people won't watch a long form video. And I don't know if you have like a monetized YouTube channel, but short doesn't really pay that much money. And
it doesn't pay anything.
We make all of our money through AdSense basically. So when people watch short and you upload long form video, they're not going to watch a long form video. And we want them to watch money. So we just keep it long form video for 99% of the time.
Not to say that there's not other streams though. There's the Google AdSense, and then there's 2 other ways you can really monetize the channel as well. There's affiliates and then sponsors and stuff like that. And then also, I mean, it is a sellable business. You know, it is a hard asset basically. It's not a hard asset, but it is an asset that you can sell, you know. So
Google's been around forever. So like they're the most consistent. So like my girlfriend, she makes content. She made a ton of money when Facebook was paying creators for a little while. Like you were getting paid for like shorts and uploading it. She has like millions of followers, right? And then Facebook just yanked that away from everybody. And it was just like, what happened, Zuck? You know what I mean? Whereas Google has been there. Google has stood the test of time, paying out creators. It's not going anywhere. It's very safe. Vehicle. What are some kind of out of the box ways you guys are monetizing other than just like AdSense and stuff that you found?
I wouldn't say too much out of the box because I feel like most people are aware, especially if you're an online marketer, which is affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
Like a health channel, we promote just health products in the back end, or even programs. We can find program to promote. We do membership. You know how YouTube have like the membership. We make some money from that, but it's not too lucrative, which means that's when people can pay like on a monthly basis just to join your premium. And a lot of time we just do it out of donation. I have some channel where we'll put the client Cash App and PayPal. We'll say donate if you enjoy our content. There's actually a client that actually makes some extra money from that.
Yeah.
And also the last one is actually brand deal. We built all of our channel on niches that are evergreen and also more likely to actually get brand deals. What I mean from that is with the YouTube automation, what the popular niches like top 10, trending, like kind of like the satisfying video, those random type of video, but those niches, they don't really get brand deal because it's just like kids videos, just like generic content. So having a channel on health or on a specific niche, or even like the manosphere, like dating, we get more emails of people reaching out to us saying, hey, can you promote a course? Hey, can you promote this? Hey, can you promote this product? Like, for example, we have a dating channel. We had like this shaving company reach out to us because they know that most of our audience are male to promote their product on the description. So affiliate marketing and also brand deal are like 2 of the most lucrative way that we make the money on the back end. beside the AdSense.
What's the biggest brand deal you've gotten? Like how much money?
The biggest was like 2,500. So
Do
basically,
you get a bunch of free stuff too? Like that's kind of the bonus, right?
that's basically, they usually send you their product so you can actually
Yeah.
test it out. But because the channels are faceless, usually they'll make the video and send it to us, and we'll put in the first 30-second or the middle 30-second of the video.
So I'll say like ads
I have
inside the videos.
I have
Yeah.
one guy that I know really well. He's got I think 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. So he's been doing it for a while, right? And I think he's also in kind of like the men's niche kind of thing. I think he just does like reaction videos and stuff like that. So it's not like he's like doing advice or anything like that. But anyways, he's like the Pete and Pedro like skincare company. It's like a men's skincare company or something like that. And anyways, they pay him $10,000 a month, and he has to do 4 shout outs per month. So once a week, he just does like a little 30-second plug, and it's like the same clip. It's like the same thing. He just recorded it one time and just has to plug it in at like the 6-minute mark in his video.
It's 10K.
10K a month. Yeah. Pretty passive.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like to, I mean, you've probably built up some really big channels, and then do you look for multiple brand deals, or are you just usually trying to find like one that kind of shows up that will go the distance?
They just come to you. All of the YouTube channel we have for business or promotion purposes or stuff like that, we have in the description, and we have in the about section of the channel. Because we don't try to say in our video, if you want us to promote something, we don't try to do that. They just come to you. You're just gonna get emails of a lot of people. A lot of it will be scams. Some people just reaching out to you. I actually have a buddy of mine who actually got his YouTube account hacked from a promotion that he accidentally clicked on the link, and they actually hacked his email.
Oh yeah.
They took over his channel. So yeah, usually they'll come to you, and you just pick which one you want or not. Because obviously there's a lot
kind of in alignment with the channel. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. And then do you guys do any like email marketing? Like do you capture emails at all and add that for anybody, or?
Right, that's something I'm actually not doing at the moment, but that I actually have someone who reach out to me on doing that for the channels.
Yeah, I was thinking you could capture them and then just like spam them with not spam them, but send them affiliate links, send them updates, send them whenever, stuff like that. That would be a whole nother little like because it's all about passive, right? So you can set up the automated emails and stuff like that, but it's a whole nother beast. It seems like you got it dialed in for the YouTube. Like let's I want to get kind of excited about this. Like how much do you think realistically someone can make from a YouTube channel without doing any work? What's the big money?
Realistically, I tell people on average it would take 3 to 6 months to start seeing result. So the first month to 3 months is just testing, because obviously we're starting a channel from scratch. We will rack up the video ideas, we'll test out different ideas, and we'll see which one get the most momentum. Because with YouTube, for the most part, it's very easy to find out. Once you have the first hour video that got momentum, it's very easy to find out where you're actually going to take the channel. I have a Black History channel, which I started, and we did a video on the history of Black people in the Bible. And we had other video on, like, for example, the Black group that overcame the KKK, like just viral topic that people don't see around just every day. That video got over 100,000 views. So I ended up switching that whole channel to like a Christian channel, because all the subscribers that came into the channel were just Christian for the most part, African American. So instead of continuing with the idea that I had in mind, I just kind of switch it up. So the first 3 months is just testing. And usually after 3 to 6 months, I tell people what we aim for is to get it to 2,000 to 3,000 a month. That's like the conservative side within 6 months. There's channel making 10K, 20K, but I like to stay within the conservative number just to give people like the realistic expectation.
I've been pretty obsessed because like we do a lot of stuff with credit. We're all about passive income. So $1 million mortgage is about $6,000 a month, right? So if you can get one YouTube video channel making you $6K a month, man, that's $1 million mortgage paid off somewhere for somebody. So I think that's kind of cool, and that's passive, you know. Super cool to have something going on that's not just like in the mainstream, that's kind of yours as well. And then so you pivot the channels. This is a stupid question, but have you ever had like a YouTube channel that like no matter what you did, it just didn't take off? Like I sometimes think like YouTube like blacklists or does something with like different YouTube channels. You just got to start a new one. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Actually had a dating channel that I had, and we had 3 strikes. Because obviously YouTube, there's like some censorship to certain topic you can't talk about. Now I had a news channel that we started doing the Russian-Ukraine stuff when it just started popping. We're just reporting the news. That channel just blew up overnight. And the channel ended up getting demonetized because they were saying we were profiting off the war. which we were just basically reporting the news, which all the other news.
That's what they do, right?
So
only they can do
can't
that.
copy them. Yeah, you can't do what they're doing to make money. Cheater.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So for the most part, if you get a strike, like with the dating channel, we had 2 strike, and for some, we had like 15,000 subscribers on the channel. We grew it to that 15,000 subscribers, and we're uploading videos. We're getting like 200 views. So it just wasn't making sense. Like we have 15,000 subscribers and only 20 people are watching, and we had to restart the whole channel. Like we moved the audience. We just do community post shout out to move the audience, because the channel, because of the strike we have, sometimes if you get a lot of copyright strikes, they're just gonna not promote the channel even to your subscribers. So you might post a bit on YouTube, your subscriber won't even be able to see it. So usually we'll just move the audience to another account to just
And they'll take off and do pretty good. Do you think?
exactly.
It's wild. That's wild. Maybe it's just because my old content was garbage. And when I go back and look at my old content, I'm like, what was I doing? But it's tough to build a YouTube channel. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's like sometimes it feels like the algorithm is against you, or YouTube is like, no, not this one, you know. But you keep working, right? I guess I want to know now, how many editors do you guys have? How many, like, how big is your team now?
So for every channel we make, we hire an editor for it. Some channel we have 2 or 3 editors working for it. Right now, I believe we have over 50 editors. The thing is, we usually, how we build the team is we look for freelancers or VAs in like the Philippines, India, Pakistan, which are the most popular places, which I have like freelancers that I work for. And then we'll bring them on to actually edit for the channel. Because for the most part, I don't know if you ever edit your own video or if you edit your own podcast. Editing is the most time consuming thing out of the whole process. Like you could put a script together within an hour or 2. Even with ChatGPT now, we can actually do it within 5 minutes. But editor, it would usually take them, especially to make like an 8-minute to like a 15-minute video, it would take them like 5 hours or even 8 hours. So it's kind of hard to get one editor to work on multiple channels. So every channel we build for a client, we'll hire a new editor and we train them up according to the niche and according to the style of the editing we want. And then we'll onboard them into the channel.
Cool. How do you find these editors? I mean, do you have like a network, or just like you're in the loop? How do you find a good editor?
We use Upwork. We use online job age, which we also get great talent from there. And we usually ask our own editor this. We usually ask them, do you have like a friend you would recommend? That's also a very good way. And
that's the best way, I would say,
is their own agency. Like, for example, I had this one dude who lived in the Philippines, very young kid. He was around my age, like 21, in college, but he's a really great editor. And he got to the point where he wasn't able to edit anymore. So he did the smart thing. He actually trained a couple editors in his hometown, gave them the laptop, and he passed like the workload onto them. So he basically duplicated himself 5 times with 5 different people.
That's a hack, bro. If you ever want to like, if you have a video or like a VA right now and want another VA, just ask your VA. Yeah, and they'll get you another VA.
So you basically have 50 editors working all the time. How do you train them yourselves? Do you have like a little course for them, or do you just have like guidelines and you're just like think they're going to get better, or what do you do?
Usually they have to already be experienced editor. We don't. Cool. I don't have time to train them on editing. Yeah, and my program is not on that. But what I do teach them is the rules and regulation of YouTube, because obviously with copyright issue, which is the biggest thing on YouTube, you could use a 5-second clip that have like a music of Drake playing in the background and they're gonna copyright it. So I would usually, when we onboard them, the training is just what to do and what not to do when it comes to over copywriting, and how to actually use fair use. Fair use is basically how can you use someone else's material without getting copyright for it. Cool. So it's just training them on the rules to just keep the channel monetized and not get demonetized. That's all.
And then who does like the voices and stuff? Is it AI, or is there somebody like dedicated to reading scripts? You got like voice actors and stuff?
I'm actually glad you asked that question. 4 or 5 years ago when I started, it was just voiceover.
Yeah.
But now with AI, I really believe within 1 year, I would fire every voiceover that I have. Hopefully they don't.
Yeah.
Actually, we started using 11 Lab. We have DID. There's a lot of software that are coming out. Actually, with 11 Lab, I can feed in my voice and would actually read any script on my voice. So it's getting to the point where we're actually cutting some team member just to use like softwares.
That's seen those. It's like you got like Elon Musk and like Joe Rogan talking, and it's like an AI voice, or like Obama, or like all this like weird stuff. Man, you can do like the deep fakes. That's kind of fun.
Dude, I saw this software that one of these guys posted the other day, and they're trying to basically replace like the customer service or like sales call. And it was literally a robot, like somebody calling in for like Tesla Motors or something. And it was literally just like a robot, but you could not tell that it was like an AI robot. Like there was a tiny little lag, and it could have like a 40-minute conversation because it could just like pick up what the person was saying, formulate a response. Boom. Nuts.
Done. Yeah. Has AI changed your business? Has AI changed your business a lot, man?
Dramatically. It's bringing down the costs and also the speed. Because right now with ChatGPT, literally we're able to write a script within 5 minutes. So there's certain channel where we were only uploading maybe 2 videos a week or videos a week because it would take a lot of time to make the videos and like the revision and stuff like that. But now we get the script done within 5 minutes, and we just feed the 11 lab the voiceover. And then the editor, like we have different tools that we use to edit the video, we'll put the video together. And even with Mid-Journey, like we're able to generate any pictures. I can literally take your screenshot and get you wearing a sombrero or something like that with
I
Mid-Journey.
need that now, man. Somebody in the chat send me a picture of me in a sombrero from this. That'd be cool.
It's actually a big, it's just a major thing. Like I think it was 3 months ago, I was talking to a friend and I was saying this business model it's going to get more saturated because it's going to get more and more easier.
Yeah.
So it's going to get a little bit harder, but more people
got a head start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's becoming a little bit more, I'll say more easier to actually produce content and get them out there faster. But at the same time, even quality, a lot of software is they're advancing the quality. Like recently, Weston sent me a video of, there's a version of ChatGPT where you can actually feed it text and actually edit the video for you. Actually generate the video, edit for you, generate the video.
Yeah, I think I saw a clip of that, but it was with Adobe Premiere or whatever, and you can like put it in there and we'll chop up shorts for you and stuff like that. We actually have an AI software. It's like video with a Y, but it takes all of my stuff and it can chop it up into short stuff. But it does it randomly. It's like not as good as if I like go in there or somebody else actually went in there and picks the clips and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's so cool, man, that you have a whole team of editors. What is like your customer avatar like? Do you have people that want to be famous on YouTube still, or are they mostly investors, or is it like the average American that just wants some passive income, or what is it?
I basically have 2 main avatar. The first one is investors. They're more of an older, mature audience. I have investors that don't even know how to upload video on YouTube for the most part. But they're all on YouTube. Almost everybody's on YouTube. They watch videos on YouTube. And the second audience, which is kind of like me when I started, which is people that are looking for like just a way to make money online, or they're trying to put their 5.
A real way.
Yeah, exactly. And because of my age, like my biggest case study, my biggest testimony that I have was actually, I have a kid who's 22 right now. He actually have one of the biggest channels, Niche. I have a dude, he just turned 30, have one of the biggest channels in the crypto, like a Faceless Automation channel in the crypto space. It's more like people my age, though, like in their early 20s or like mid 20s or late 20s, that are just looking for a way to make money online. And
is that guy that's living in Dubai? He's like doing over 100K a month.
That's one of them. Actually, he's actually 20 or 19, probably 29.
Insane.
Last time I spoke to him was 19. But I
just dropping Dubai in there, man. He's like making all the money. He made enough to go live in Dubai for my YouTube automation.
Yeah, he actually moved from Toronto to Dubai 4 or 5 months ago.
Nice.
One thing that you mentioned just a second ago is like competition and stuff like that. I think that's super noteworthy, because that was one of my main attractions, is because so many things are so saturated now, because stuff gets out like so quickly. Like the new thing that comes out, like it just gets saturated within like seconds. And one thing that I realize is like when you're watching YouTube videos, like say you're watching, I don't know, LeBron James top 10 dunks of 2023, right? When you're getting towards the end of the video, what does YouTube do? They recommend another video. And like 90-something
go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. And so it's not like you really have competition. You really just have like neighbors, I guess you could say, and like it's beneficial to have neighbors or competitors, whatever you want to call it, in this space, which I thought was really interesting, because I don't know any other models where like you benefit from having people doing the same thing.
Yeah. I'm sure you started a lot of channels with one idea, and then now they've just grown into these totally different like beasts that you just never thought that this is what it would be like, right? And then, I mean, I like the psychology of it, like how much you're sitting there thinking about like what's going to really get people's attention, right? What's really going to get them to watch all these freaking videos? Like, do you do a lot of thinking, or is it just like, I already know what money channels are going to do, or how do you think about it?
It's a little bit of psychology also.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because me and Weston have a conversation about this. I have one of the biggest Manosphere channel. Obviously, I don't reveal my face on there, and there's a lot of the gurus. I have a lot of bigger channel that actually react to my channels. And me and Weston was talking about, because he was looking at the thumbnails of the channel, and they're like super clickbait, like they'll get your attention. And the audience for that channel, they're super engaging into the brand, like they're really about the brand.
Cool.
And we were just sitting there because there's actually a dating coach he does similar video that I do. And Weston had a call with him. And he was saying, honestly, bro, I don't like making those videos, but that's what people like, and that's what they tend to click on. Like there's certain channel, like even like conspiracy channel, like we have to feed off fear because that's what get people attention.
And no, it's
Yeah.
People are like sponges and sheep, man. It's like if you just really think about it, like what's something that somebody really wants to watch? Like it's probably something fucked up, but that's what they want to watch. They want to see something weird, something different, something that catches their attention. It's always so funny.
My biggest month that I had on YouTube was because I had like 3 crypto channels that I own. I ended up selling these channels for a higher profit, and almost literally every single video will be market's about to crash. This is about to go 10x. It's either extreme reward or extreme fear. Like those videos will get the most traction. And compared to if we just make a video on latest update on Ethereum, people wouldn't click on it. But if we say Ethereum is about to 10x tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Yeah, or Ethereum is about to crash, that's gonna get the click for sure, you know.
Dude, a good example of this, Graham Stephan, the guy that talks about investing, it got to the point where he was like overdoing it, and it got kind of annoying because I used to like really like his old stuff, and then it got to the point where every single video, because he realized like, oh shit, this is how you do it. Every single video was like code red.
Yeah,
yada yada.
You see that on a lot of channels. It's like 2 people like and they're like, we're all gonna die. Like, that's what people want to see. So
the best ones are like against the grain, like not like controversial, against the grain, like
clickbait. It is the way of the future, and there's going to be an AI clickbait pretty quick, and they are pretty out there. But they're going to cold call, they're going to blast pictures, weird stuff. I mean, think about it. Think about the election coming up. There's going to be so many Photoshop pictures of just like not real stuff happening. It's just going to get wild. But that's what you'll have the YouTube channel, right, documenting it.
Well, that's one thing. It's like really scary to think about, like deep fakes. Like how do you control that?
People are so dumb, they're going to be like, oh, that's real for sure.
Yeah.
He only has like 3 fingers.
You can't. Oh, yeah.
The hands give it away is what I heard. The AI can't figure out how to duplicate hands. I guess I have some selfish questions. So I want to start a really boring software review affiliate business, right? Because like the most passive income I ever made was in the real estate space, you know, when I had a big coaching program. And then I was making $10,000 a month passively just from using batch leads and being an affiliate and teaching people how to use it. So that was like the dopest passive income. And I want to get back some more of that. But is software, like if I just reviewed software, that's probably too boring, right? Or what do you think?
That's more of a personal channel if you want, unless you actually want us like to hire a voiceover and a script writer to actually do the review on the softwares.
Well, I was thinking like, what if I paid you guys to start it? Would you even want to start one though? Because it's such a boring niche.
I would, but usually I do the research and I'll give the client the honest expectation.
Yeah.
For what come to mind right now, I've seen a lot of channel popping up that are doing how to make 10K with AI, make 10K with this AI software. So those are getting a lot of traction because like AI is like the new trend. It's like it's like the clickbait trend at the moment, but it just doesn't appeal to the masses because I tend to also appeal to the masses, which means obviously you're trying to make money in the back end if that's the case, but with ad revenue and also building a huge subscriber base, it's going to be a little bit more tougher.
Yeah, so you think it's easier to make a channel that just gets the views and you get paid off of views than trying to make a channel to get paid off for like recommending softwares and stuff, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Let's just walk me through like a journey, you know, of like some customers find you guys online. What do they go through? What's kind of the process? And then
so number one is we get the onboarding call. We usually would give them a list of niches. I have over 100 niches. Usually I'll give them niches which I've tested and experienced in. I have some new niches which I've done my research, but I haven't started a channel in. I give them also the option to choose, for example, crypto, Christianity, actually the Muslim niche is a niche I want to get into. I don't have a channel on that one yet.
Yeah.
Engineering, AI/tech, sport, whether it's golfing, whether it's basketball. Formula One is also a very big one that's like growing a little bit. So whatever, we have all that on the list, and they usually pick the niche. Most of the time, because especially with the more older demographic of investors that I get, they don't really care. They just want me to pick for them, and usually I'll pick the niche for them. And then it took us 1 to 2 weeks to actually get the team, build the team, and train them and onboard them to the channel. And what we usually, a hack that we have compared to other most people, is we start them with a monetized channel. So you don't need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watch time. Usually we build out this channel in advance. We have like a huge portfolio of those channels. So once we have the investor, we just integrate them to the channel, and we add the logo, the team. We add them as manager and editor limited in the channels, and then we come up with like the whole video idea for like 30 days. So we do the research. So within like 3 weeks, we have the channel launch. We have the first video uploaded, and we usually come up with a schedule. Sometime either it's going to be 2 videos a week, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We usually will let the investor know, and based on why, because some niches require a lot of videos, some niches don't really require a lot of videos, some niches require a longer video. But within 2 to 3 weeks, we launch the channel, and then from there it's just watching and waiting.
Yeah, it's testing and seeing what happens, and then you start to see something that makes a lot of money, and you just double down on that, right?
Exactly. And after that, it's just a monthly report. So every single month we get on a call with them, give them the report of how the channel is performing, and also once they start receiving the AdSense from their to their bank account, we usually will confirm the amount with them.
So like whenever you probably get like an idea and you're like, I want to build a channel on this, you probably just have all your minions go and like crunch it out, and then you can sell it to someone, or you're like probably waiting for somebody to come and get this channel or something like that. That's cool, man. Yeah. I really like that. The one that Weston told me that stuck in my head is you guys have like a couple sports channels where it's like, you know, LeBron's best dunks and all this yada yada, so people can like have a channel on that. I think that's pretty neat. When someone buys one of these channels, do you sign something that says like they own it, or how does that kind of work?
Yeah, we have an agreement that says that they own it, and
yeah.
Barely, but for example, I have one investors right now. Our agreement is about to be over, so we built the channel for him. Right now, he's making like 6,000 a month for the channel.
Cool.
After the 12 month, they can choose to either renew it with us, and for us to continue to manage it, and we just charge him a fee for that, or he will just manage it. In our case, because I do have an academy also where I show people how to do it themselves. So he went to the academy. He's like, "Hey, Freud, I wanna manage this." I actually had a grandma that went through the program. He had her grandson go to my academy, and then I'm passing the channel and the team to the grandson.
What's the academy?
The academy is just how I built the channel myself. So it's basically like a course or program.
Yeah. Do you have that for everybody, or is it just for people that are in that have kids? Grandkids? No.
I give all of them access to it.
Oh, cool.
Some choose to use it, some choose to don't, because most investors, they don't really want to sit down.
Yeah, they don't care. They just want to get that passive income.
Yeah,
right?
they don't really
or you can have the discussion at the end of the 24-month period to sell the channel if you want. Like, and if you want to look at typically what they go for, usually like if you go to Empire Flippers, for example, or you could buy and sell online websites and whatnot. There's like a lot of Amazon stores and stuff like that for sale. And, you know, typically it's going to be like a 35 to 50x monthly multiple. So whatever it's doing per month in profit, which with YouTube, your revenue is your profit. Like there's really no difference because there's no margin there, right? So just type in whatever the monthly revenue is times 35 times 50, and that's what you can usually sell it for. What's the biggest exit you guys have gotten from selling a YouTube channel?
198,000.
It's pretty savage. I like that a lot. So it's funny. So like you started with ecom. I started with ecom, but I actually ended up making more money selling my dropshipping websites than I did ever selling any dropshipping items and stuff. That's how I kind of started a side hustle. I'd make a new website and then I'd just sell the website once it was all built up. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. There's a marketplace for that, man. Yeah, for sure. So it's called Faceless Freedom. You got 50 VAs. What's the big dream? Like, where do you see the business? What's the goals? I want to hear.
So the long-term goal currently right now, I'm 22. I started very young. For some reason, I had the magic number 200 channels under management in my head.
Cool.
I do want to get to a point where I have over 200 channels on YouTube. And I really believe at that point, I can confidently say that I can walk to someone in the street and be like, you've seen my work. You've probably watched my work on YouTube somewhere at some point.
I bet I have, to be honest. I've probably already seen some of your videos.
Most likely, probably. So that's the goal to get to 200. I see myself doing this from like the next 10 years. I don't know what will happen after that. But the goal is just to make as much money as possible, make invest as much money as possible, and then just have fun doing it. For example, I've been able to systemize the process really well. Right now, I live in Miami. I'm in Seattle currently right now. I have a second place in Seattle, so I travel a lot. I'm one of those people that really believe in like living instead of mainly working. I believe in building system, and this business model have allowed me to do it. And also thanks to Weston, he's also been a big help in helping me building this out, making it even automated to myself as a CEO that's managing all this channel for this client. So long term is just I do have a more like long-term vision, which is I'm from Haiti. My goal is to go back to Haiti to contribute to build. I don't want to say school, which is what most people usually say, but I just want to build something in the tourism aspect because it's considers I don't like saying the word that term, third world country. I see a lot of opportunity when it comes to the tourist aspect of the country. It's a very beautiful island, different than Jamaica, Puerto Rico, all those islands that have a lot of we share island with the Dominican Republic, and it's one of the #1 visited island in the Caribbean. But it's just lack of infrastructure and corrupt government. So
You ever go back?
I was back when COVID happened. I hate saying that, but when the president got assassinated, that was my last time in Haiti.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So yeah, the trip didn't last too long because I had to come back because the airport was closing. But that was the last time I was there. Actually, one of my goal Weston put in my head again is instead of hiring freelancers and VAs overseas to manage my channel,
Cool.
I'm going to be building an agency down there and trains like maybe the high school or college, because a lot of kids when they graduate high school, they don't have like the opportunity. So have an agency where they can come in and edit videos, make the thumbnails, even use the software that we're going to be using to actually manage and produce the content of those channels.
You can get a bunch of computers and get like a warehouse and put a whole
Exactly.
little team out there, and that's pretty awesome. The thing that I like about with business is like what you have is you have the main cash cow, and then you can build little branches off of it, right? So you could build like a media company, you could build like a bunch of editors and stuff like that, but you always want to kind of keep it in the wheelhouse. And if you bring that back to Haiti, that'd be huge. I think that's really cool, man. So I like that. Yeah, I mean, this is amazing, man. What else about Faceless Freedom do you think is there anything we didn't touch on?
No, I think we touched on everything.
Yeah, I think we crushed it. So that was cool. I love YouTube. I love scaling YouTube channel. They're trying to, whatever. You guys got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. How often do you see so my girlfriend, she just started, she just basically went viral one day, and then she has millions of subscribers now, which is awesome. Do you guys see that a lot with your niches, or is it more like, hey, just keep pumping them out, keep grinding? Is it, what do you think?
I see that a lot. And I always tell people you just one video away, because you just need one viral video to snowball. It's like a snowball effect. Once you have that one viral content, if you actually have good quality content, if you have a health channel and you're actually providing good content, your channel is going to perform. Because there's some people who just get into this business model, they just make content and pay somebody overseas, and they don't even pay attention to what the videos are, what information are being said on the video. I had a channel where we had a lot of comments coming in saying false information, misinformation, and that was one of the channels I was managing. So then I had to get back with the script writer so we can actually fix that. So it's just a snowball effect. And I would even say myself, I had it because I also teach people to do it themselves. I have students where I've seen them have crappiest video, which I don't like. And it will be the most crappiest video that go viral.
Right. That's how it is, man.
I'm curious to ask what was the story like with your lady? Did she just work at it for years and then one day it just popped off, or was it just randomly post a video, or what?
So she's an artist, right? So she made a lot of videos back in the day, and she always wanted to be famous on kind of YouTube. But yeah, it was back when TikTok was going viral. She just made one TikTok and it just went boom, 40,000 followers. And then, Facebook and YouTube followed. And then she's really good at editing that. She's got that organization brain where she every little millisecond has something going on. So that's kind of she just makes really good videos, and she just started making short form, and she makes art. So that's what she looks at. But I'll put a link to her stuff down below. Everybody has seen her. She's a Cure Waits. But yeah, that's man, I mean, cool. Content creation is it's an animal, and it's really the future, because for growing your business as well, we spend thousands and thousands on ads, but if we can just get some good content going and some stuff where you get organic growing and blowing up, like I think that's the future of what all businesses need. So it's the fact that you're mastering how to just do it without having the business behind it. It's more of like, hey, get the attention, get the eyeballs. What gets more eyeballs? And then you can use that pretty much for anything you want to do in life. You could probably create a new YouTube channel and get the attention that you need. It's an awesome skill to have. Let me think. I think that's it. Where can the listeners and everybody get in contact with you if they want?
Facelessfreedom.com. I also have a personal YouTube channel. I'm not too active there. I plan on going back because I've been just moving around a lot, then making organic content. But I have a channel called Freud's Business. So it's my first name business on YouTube. So that I also have a lot of videos on me just documenting the journey of me building different channels, sharing testimonials on there also. Just if people want more of a deeper in depth, like how the whole process works. They can actually go to my YouTube channel, and I have a bunch of videos which I've done on that too.
Go stalking now. That sounds pretty good. We'll go down the rabbit hole. How about I have 3 questions at the end that I always ask basically people, but before we get into that, I want to know what are like some tips for making really good content. Just give us what have you found?
The first tips that I would give: study. Whenever we're starting a channel, the very first thing we do, once we pick the niches, we'll look for all the channel within that niche. We won't be able to find all of them, but we'll find the one that we can find. We just subscribe to all of them, at least a performing one. And we just want to see what made the channel went viral, what made the channel perform. Sometimes there's some channel that have really crappy content. I've seen it so many times, different niches, but their thumbnail style just capture people's attention. There's some channel that don't even upload like thumbnails, but there's something about their video that get people attention. I've seen this Faceless channel, we call them Faceless Automation channel, that went viral. It's because they add in like a script error that had like a good sense of humor. Because usually those content, they're just very straight information, straight to the fact. But that one video, that like their first video got over 1 million views. And it was just because they add in that sense of humor to it. So I would study the competition, which is the first thing. That's like the biggest, that's the biggest key that
I'll butt in. One thing that you taught me, Freud, that I think that people highly underestimate is like, just don't overthink it. Like, some of the most viral pieces of content, everybody's trying to crack the code on the most viral piece of content. Go look at Mr. Beast and look at his thumbnails. They're the most like silly, like we filled a pool with Orbeez. Didn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't very, like the most viral ideas are usually the most simple. So like really don't overthink it and just kind of throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. You just got to test it out.
And my last takeaway, you just remind me that I actually took a mentorship from Graham Stephan about 6 years ago, when he was blowing up. And there's 2 things that he told me which always stick with me. He basically said, if you look at some of the most viral videos on YouTube, number 1, they appeal to the masses. Like for example, even if you have like a finance channel, instead of saying, here's how to set up a Roth IRA, yada, 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 like Graham Stephan would just, instead of saying, here's how to buy a Tesla by writing it like with taxes and stuff like that, he basically said, here's how I buy a Tesla for $1. So it appeals to the masses. And he said, keep in mind the average, there was a study that was done, the average people on YouTube have intelligence for 5th grader. So you must make sure that your title, your thumbnail, that a 5th grader, like literally a 12-year-old can actually look at your title and thumbnails and say that I understand and send me click on it. Because some people, they try to make their stuff look very professional. And in reality, I'm not calling people dumb, but average people on YouTube have intelligent 5th grader. So
people's attention span is getting even shorter. It's getting harder to get people's attention. So keeping things super simple and just being, I don't know, very, very enticing, right? You gotta figure out what's the angle, what's the reason that someone's going to spend the next 18 minutes to watch this video and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Cool. Well, I think we're going to wrap up, but I do have 3 questions. And I know I'm kind of putting you guys on the spot. Let's start with Freud. So the first question is, there's lots of young people out there, but what's something that you've learned? I'm the money guy, right? That's literally what we do. So what, if you had to give someone advice on how to get rich or how to handle their money, what's a piece of advice that you can give people?
Handling money is something I'm recently learning. How to make money is something I've learned a while back. When it comes to getting rich or actually making money, all I had to do is just learn a skill. I know it's very set out there. Like either it's like, for example, for Weston, it had to be sales. For me, it had to be like YouTube automation, like learn how to build and monetize channels. But before that, I had to learn like Shopify, dropshipping, learn how to advertise. And even though I fell in those businesses, it was just all a lesson. Like learning how to clickbait on YouTube, I kind of learned that from advertising when I was doing Shopify. I had to get people attention. So it just started with a skill, and there's just so many opportunity online out there. It doesn't have to be online. There's just so many ways to make money. Like I was talking to a friend that have like oil investing. I didn't even know this stuff existed. A friend of mine who actually make a over 8-figure that does he own a bunch of exotic car, and he work with investors and he automate those cars. So he'll get the investor the car, and then he rent out the car for investor, and they do like a profit share. There's just a lot of ways to make money. It's either you build the skill, and there's a lot of programming courses, even YouTube videos on that, or you just have to find someone that already learned the skill, like for example, in my case, or that already have a business model that you can just invest with them. That's in the case if you have money and capital to start. So it's either if you don't have any money, learn the skill. If you do, find someone you can partner up with or invest into to grow your money.
What about you, Weston? What's your tip to help people get rich, or just about money that you've learned?
One thing at a time.
Yeah.
One thing at a time. Do one thing. I think a lot of people are super ADD, and we get shiny object syndrome really, really easily. And when I started to notice my income increasing and my overall net worth increasing exponentially is whenever I just went all in on like one thing. No side hustles, no side projects. I'm just going to like master one skill set, go all in on that, and find the best opportunity vehicle and just get head down, face forward, all in.
Love it. Okay, so the next question, I'm actually writing a book about happiness. So what's one tip that you would give people about happiness to either be more happy or, how to find happiness?
Personally, myself, funny thing, I was writing this today. I came up with 3 steps to actually solve any problem. And one of the thing I was writing down is what actually get me in the best state. And it sounds ironic. Right now, it's actually, it's number 1 is listening to music. I'm like a huge fan of Afrobeat. Number 2 is actually like talking to my girl. So usually whenever, as someone who manages a lot of channel, have a lot of clients, sometimes you have so many projects you're managing, you get stressed out. Whenever I found myself listening to music or even talking to her, because she's very business-minded at the same time and understand what I do, usually I'll feel like way more better, and I just perform a lot better. And the fact that I love what I do, because a lot of people do certain things, but they don't really like it. They're just doing it for the money. It just really helped me out, because it's not what I do that's, put me in a bad state, but it's just sometimes I just need to have the right person or the right thing, do the right thing that would just bring me that energy to get me back in the right state, which is music or just talking to her.
Love that, getting in the right state. What about you, Weston? What's a tip for happiness?
I would say don't set your expectations at happiness. Just realize that it's a moment, and it's kind of unreasonable to set your expectations like, I'm going to live a happy life. You're not going to be happy all the time. It comes in moments. Like, for instance, Freud was nice enough to fly me down to Miami to spend a week with him. And when we all, what's up, man? Like, we hugged each other, and it was a moment of like pure joy. It was just so cool to see each other. Like, it came in a moment, a stride, right? And then we went right into business mode, and the happiness, like, it's still there lingering, but like, it's not like happy life, whatever. Right. So it's like, don't like set your expectations at a happy life, because it's not going to be happy all the time. I think a productive life is a good life. I think a life that you're content with is a good life. But like, I think a lot of people set their expectation like, I gotta live a happy life. And it's like, you're not going to live a happy life all the time. Just understand that like, you're a human. It's going to be up and down. Just appreciate it. Appreciate the shit out of it whenever it's good, but it's not going to be good all the time. So.
And then just one more question.
Hold on. I know this is off your routine, but I want to hear your answer though.
Oh, for happiness? No, it's the same thing. So I was literally reading a book by, I think it was Seneca, or it was either Naval Ravikant, one of those guys. And he was saying happiness is not the best measurement, because in order to be happy, that means you had to have been unhappy prior to that. Right. So, and I've also decided, life isn't about pleasure. It's more about purpose and feeling content, but still finding moments of being grateful and saying thank you for the things that you have. That's the best bliss, right? And just having that little bit of peace. Like, instead of happiness, the goal should be peace, right? If you're peaceful, if you're in a state of peace, you're naturally happy. You're not happy, right? So I try and strive for have more moments of peace during the day. Write down things that make you happy, like what Freud said, talking to his girlfriend, listening to music. But have a list of that, because in this world of screens and opinions and everything, sometimes we forget who we are and what actually makes us happy, right? So figure out what makes you happy and find time to do those things, and you're going to be living a good life. You're going to have more happy moments, as you said. So that's kind of my answer to that. So
Totally.
but yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot, and we're making a happy journal, and a book is going to be coming out. So that's going to be kind of cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, and then the final question is like, what's one habit that you actually like did and started doing that actually made an impact on your life?
Oh, this is so easy. Planning my day the night before.
Yeah, planning your day the night before.
I'll personally say this myself, and I don't bash it. Someday I wake up at 11 a.m. Someday I wake up at noon. Someday I wake up at 7 a.m. I have day I wake up at 4 a.m. I have day where I go to sleep very late. But the most important thing, and I've been doing this for the last like 3-4 years, if I forgot my journal at my house and I'm traveling, I just don't feel right. I just get super anxiety. I have to buy a notebook so I can write everything down. Even days I'm not working, I still have to write down what I'm going to be doing for the day.
What about you, Weston? What's one habit
that's super real, by the way? Yeah. Freud like always writes. I'm up over his house. He's like writing everything down. I'm like, we have Google Docs now, right? Like, come on. You have a calendar. You have Google Calendar, bro. Come on. No, it's funny. I think the biggest life changer for me overall, just in terms of finding that one thing, just realizing the power and not underestimating the power of the spoken word. Even though like, oh, I suck at this or whatever, like that sits subconsciously somewhere. And you just got to be careful on like how you talk to yourself and how like you say things, because slowly but surely over time, if you're like, oh, that sucks, or this, like just saying negative shit will over time just make your life more negative, in my opinion. So just choosing consciously to speak positively over time will just lead to a better sense of well-being, better life, more confidence.
That was awesome. Do you guys have any last words, I guess, for the listeners out there? Anybody checking this out? Last thoughts?
Facelessfreedom.com. Check it out.
.com. And what's the main goal of your podcast, by the way? I'm curious, Robert.
It's like I don't know, the easiest way to explain it's like Tony Robbins style. I basically want to figure out what's going on with people's lives. I want to help them improve their lives, make money, and basically thrive. That's kind of what I really want to do. And I've been doing it for a while. I've been interviewing a lot of people, been doing a lot of stuff, and I like to pick entrepreneurs' brains and figure out what they're doing and learn from everybody that I can. So that's what we're trying to do here. But it's the Lyon Show. Most of the listeners are entrepreneurs, people that want to make money, business owners, and people that are just trying to improve. I guess that's the word, right? Relentless pursuits of getting better and better and better.
Thank you, by the way, Robert. This is an honor to be here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a great show. This was fun. I enjoyed having you guys on. We'll have to have you guys come back. We're actually planning on buying one of your guys' channels, so we'll kind of have like a 6-month one or something in the future. I think that'd be really cool. But everybody who's listening, check out Faceless Freedom. All the links are going to be down below in the show notes. Yeah, until next time, I look forward to talking to you in the next one. Talk to you later. Peace.